Hey guys, me and welcome back to How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! Lesson 9. Now this lesson, we're going to be teaching you what a damage step is and destruction means. Instead of graveyard difference are. So let's start our damage step. Now y'all know I talked about there are phases. There's the battle phase. So you can enter it, you attack your monster and you probably have the card or something that can stop it or destroy it or something. Yeah, but there's actually more to the battle step than you think. Now let me talk about that. Now let's say let's just say threatening war. Your opponent cannot declare an attack this turn. Now the thing is here, if you activate, you have to activate this before they declare an attack. Now you can't just say when your opponent attacks and then activate the card, because guess what? The attack will still go through because they've already declared the attack. Now let's talk about the phase of the battle. First, you declare the attack. That is called the battle step. So you can activate cards like Mirror Force and Dimensional Prison and etc. Speed 1 trap cards, Speed 2 trap cards, etc. But that's when we move on to damage step. Now this looks a bit differently. Damage step specifically says that means your opponent cannot. You have to declare damage step. So that means your opponent can no longer activate Speed 2 cards. Well, certain Speed 2 cards. You can only activate. Well, let me see here. Lands. Target one physical monster on the field. This turn, that target loses 800 attack. So you can activate Speed 2 cards, but they have to alter the attack of a monster on the field. That is the only way you're going to activate one of these cards during the damage step. The same thing goes for limit removal. You can activate this card during your damage step as well, because it doubles the attack, so it alters the attack. Now you can activate cards like certain monster effects. So let's take Dolka. During your player's turn, when a monster effect is activated, you can attach one card, saving material from this card, negate the activation, and you do destroy it. You can activate because it says win. So therefore, you can. So it has no specific. The same goes for Herald of Orange Light. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can send this card and one other fairy type monster from your hand to the graveyard. Negate the activation if you do destroy it. But now you can activate counter trap cards though, like Solemn Judgment and Solemn Warning, because they're Speed 3 cards, because you can activate them. Now let's talk about something. Now let's talk about not the damage step. So let's talk about some cards that say activate, that prevents your opponent from activating during the damage step. Let's normally take like Utopia the Lightning, for example. If this card battles, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. So that means your opponent can no longer. That means they cannot activate limit removal. They can activate. They can't even activate counter trap cards at this time when this monster attacks. Even monsters that get destroyed by battle cannot activate it. Okay, now let's talk about that. When a monster simply says when they're destroyed, it means technically they're destroyed, but they're not yet sent to the graveyard. Let's talk about most normally this one right here. Let's take like Sangon, for example. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, add one monster with 15 or less attack from your deck to your hand. But now let's say if I attack with Dark Mages of Chaos. Effect is if this monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle after damage calculation, banish that opponent monster. Now damage calculation, well, damage calculation is the damage calculation after you inflict damage to your opponent. Means you're inflicting damage to your opponent. Is the damage output point. So that means the Sangon will actually be banished, not sent to the graveyard. Because it was destroyed in battle, but it doesn't mean sent to the graveyard yet. So destroyed and sent to the graveyard are two different things. Here's another prime example. Let's take like let's take like Madolce Ticket, for example. This card says whenever there's a control sent you reveal to the graveyard or to your main deck by a card effect, add a Madolce monster from your deck to your hand. And Mute Boy said is and when this card you control is destroyed by battle, either by battle or by card effects, and sent to the graveyard, shuffle this card back into the deck. But now we have like take like you a dreaded not Dunker. If this monster attacks the monster in defense mode, inflict piercing damage to your opponent. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, target one card on the field, destroy it. So normally, if you attack into this, you think it'll be destroyed, but not yet sent to the graveyard. His effect will trigger first because and the monster is destroyed, but it's not yet sent to the graveyard yet. So he would destroy the ticket would be destroyed, so therefore you won't get the search. See how I'm going there for there. The same thing goes for No Master and Snowman Eater. Snowman says when this flipped up monster card flipped face up, target face on monster on the field, destroy it. And Nova Master says, and Elemental Hero Nova Master says, if this card destroys an opponent monster by battle, draw one card. So whatever that activate first. So that guess what? No Master effect will activate because after all, it simply says destroy the monster. It doesn't say instant to the graveyard. And flip monsters say tap flipped up is technically destroyed, but not yet in the graveyard. Now flip monsters look a bit differently. See, like flip monsters work like this way. Flip monsters cannot activate until they're destroyed. If they're attacked into, they have to wait till at the end of the damage step to work. See, they can only work during the damage step. So if I attack them with the Utopia Lightning, they cannot activate. And they have to wait till they're destroyed. Well, guys, there you have it. That was lesson 9 of how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Stay tuned for the final lesson of the tutorial. So, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.